Hello everyone out there, welcome back to Life is a Bowl of Cashews, where life is sweet, salty, and a little nutty. I'm Brian Hull, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Paul! Hello, humans.
Now, let's talk about some randomosity! Hey there everybody, welcome to Life is a Bowl of Cashews.
Hello, humans.
There we go.
Sorry.
I'm still not used to me not saying the life is sweet, salty, and a little nutty at the beginning.
Say it if you
I mean,
want.
I technically am saying it.
You are.
It's just in the recording.
You have said it. We just
Yes.
didn't hear you say it.
Well, they heard me say it. We didn't
Yes,
hear me say it.
That's true. You didn't hear us say it.
Right.
That didn't make any sense. Us didn't hear you. No, that's not a thing.
What?
You.
Us didn't hear you say it. We did not hear me say
We
it.
did not hear you say it.
That's
yeah,
right.
That's it. That's
Because
what
we
I'm
don't.
looking
We don't.
for.
We should play it for ourselves
Let's do it.
every time. Just it.
Can you?
I can. It'd be a little more work. Actually, why am I might try to make more work on me? No.
Exactly.
No, we're not doing that.
What's the saying?
Work smarter, not harder. I made my fortune being tougher than the toughies and smarter than the smarties, and I make my fortune square.
Exactly. We don't have a fortune, but we definitely want to work smarter, not harder.
But this is like a funny thing. For the last couple of days, I was talking with Paul, and every time he's like, I want to work smarter, not harder, I have to go into the whole Scrooge McDuck. I was tougher than the toughies and smarter than the smarties, and I made my fortune square.
And then I tell him to shut up, and we move on with our conversation. It's a great dynamic we have going on here.
It's fun.
I want to talk about something different.
Okay. What are we talking about?
I want to talk about mental health.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
It's random. Well, this is a random podcast.
That's
But I want to talk
it's
about
not really
mental
random
health.
for you, though. That's
Well,
like me saying
this-
dinosaurs are random, which for any other normal human being, it would be random.
It would be.
But it's not random for me.
No.
Every day I feel like I talk about dinosaurs at least to some degree.
More often than not, yes.
Yeah, maybe not every day.
But then again, I talk about mental health quite often.
I mean, it's literally your job.
True, and I'm still a nerd about it. I'm still a big
Well,
nerd
I'm
about
still a
mental
nerd
health.
about animation, and that's my job.
True, very true. But I want to talk about mental health today.
Okay.
And in particular, I want to talk about anxiety.
Anxiety. It bites.
That was a good one. That was a good one. I can't tell you guys why that's a good one, but that's a good one.
It's an inside joke.
It's an inside joke for now. Anyway, anxiety does bite, and I want to talk about anxiety, and I want to talk about like why. Like why, man?
Why? It's terrible. Because it's
just
terrible?
Sucks.
It does.
It sucks.
Oh, it does.
So I
it.
suffer from anxiety.
Me too.
Actually, statistics say almost 90% of the world suffers from anxiety.
Oh, I thought that was just like America and
Well,
the rest.
I can't say the world, I guess. So 90%. Oh, not really 90%. That's an arbitrary number. But a high percentage of Americans suffer from anxiety. So
It's well over half, I'm sure.
I think it is well over half. I want to say it's in the 70s. I'll double
Yeah.
check. But anxiety is a thing, and anxiety bothers me, and I have anxiety, and you have anxiety,
Yep.
and 99% of our friends have anxiety. And
I'd say almost 100% of our friends. Well,
Sandy
I guess
has
you did.
anxiety.
Oh my gosh. Y'all do not understand how bad Sandy's anxiety is. It's insane.
She's
She's
sitting
a
on
dog.
She's sitting on the couch right now. I'm just staring at her, and she's like, "Help!"
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You guys do not understand how anxious this little dog is.
It's pretty sad.
I have anxiety medication for her that she has to take. And even then, I don't think it really does that much.
It doesn't.
It does a little bit.
I don't think it's enough dose. Like, it needs to be a bigger dose, man.
She's
Some anxiety medications can actually make anxiety worse.
Well, that was her
funny
first
enough.
medicine.
Yeah.
Her first anxiety medicine made her worse.
Which is so sad.
But that's why we got her off it.
It's true. It's true. We did notice that. There's a piece of hair in my mouth. Hold on. Okay, it's gone.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Okay, so anxiety. Let's talk about that a little. First of all, I want to ask you,
Yes.
do you have questions about what anxiety is, or any questions in relation to anxiety that I may answer for you as a licensed clinician?
And I got a lot of questions already worked out in my own therapy.
Which, okay, right? So that's a whole thing. So anxiety in general usually can be it's like what I call self-treated. But then there's like extensive anxiety that lasts forever, or what we call clinical anxiety, which inhibits our life.
Yeah. Sorry, did you want me to piggyback off that? You're looking at me like, how are you going to respond to that? I'm like,
play with me here, Brian. Play with me here.
I don't know how to respond to just facts.
Oh. What are your experiences with anxiety?
Well, my experiences with anxiety are very much, I'm convinced that the world hates me. I'm convinced that, my job is going to crumble and fall at any moment, even though evidence points to quite the contrary.
Yeah.
My anxiety just keeps telling me how much of a deplorable human being that I am, when in reality, I'm not as bad as I think I am. I ain't perfect, and I'm not going to pretend that I am, but I'm definitely not as bad as my anxiety tells me I am.
True. And that is what anxiety does, right? It eats us up.
Yeah.
And so what you're describing is called automatic negative thoughts. And we've talked about those plenty of times in our discussions over the years.
Oh, yeah.
And you've probably learned about that when you're in your own therapy.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, automatic negative thoughts is kind of like up out of nowhere. And you're like, oh, where did that come from? Because honestly, it's unwarranted. And you're like, okay, that's weird. And then it starts eating away at you.
Yeah, I feel like if I was comparing this to like my brain was an Inside Out or something.
Yeah.
There's an extra emotion that's not in the movie. It's called anxiety.
That should have really been in the movie.
We're getting
far. I mean, it's not a primary emotion, so I understand why they didn't include it. But still,
we're getting Inside Out too, and they've already said we're getting new emotions. So
okay, well,
anxiety could absolutely be there.
I guess fear could have technically.
I feel like fear and anxiety, I think they're different, but they're buds. Yeah. They're really tight buds.
Yeah, they really are.
Fear is more level-headed in the fact that most of what fear tells you to be scared of is legitimately going to protect you. Like in the movie, fear stopped Riley from tripping over a cord.
True, but
then anxiety has the stupid fear that no one should be scared of.
Stupid fear, got it.
Yeah, this is the stupid fear where it's just like, oh, what if you got hit by a meteor? Oh, actually, no, fear did that in the movie too.
Yeah.
So okay, maybe fear is like, anxiety is like inside of fear.
Well, anxiety creates fear, and then fear reinforces the anxiety.
They're very connected.
They're frenemies.
I don't even think frenemies is a good term. No. I feel like they're symbiotic.
Oh, they are kind of symbiotic. They do work together quite well, and that's the really crappy thing.
Much like the Cape buffalo in Africa and the egret. The two are symbiotic.
On.
Oh no, oxpecker and a rhino.
Oh my god! First of all, that whole thing just fell apart.
No, so it's like it's a symbiotic relationship, like the rhino and the oxpecker.
Yeah.
The rhino protects the oxpecker bird. The bird gets all the parasites off of the rhino's back and gets a meal. The two work together in harmony, such as anxiety and fear working together to destroy our lives and protect us at the same time.
There you go. Because there's good anxiety and there's bad anxiety.
Yes,
the good
most of it's
is,
bad.
There's a black widow in the corner of the wall over there. I have to get away from it or kill it, right? Creates anxiety.
Well,
and then there's bad anxiety, which is a meteor is going to go ahead and kill me and my family. That's bad anxiety because the likelihood is, few and far between.
You have a better chance of getting killed by a shark when you've never gotten in the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. And kind of bouncing off of what you said is that you think with your anxiety, at least, that, you're a deplorable human being and that your job's going to fall apart any moment. I literally think that about myself every other day, if not every day, every second of the day. If I'm lying, it's because I'm lying right now. And I actually think about it every day of my life, every second of my day. So yeah, I do think about that quite a lot. And that's what anxiety does to you. It creates this overwhelming worry where it starts impacting you in such a way that you have impaired life functioning.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, sucks is the best way I can put it.
Well, I mean, we've both gotten to the point where it was really life inhibiting, which is when we sought help.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, when you were going through your depression and then when I was going through my anxiety attacks, which I don't have as much anymore.
You haven't had one in a while.
I haven't, thank the Lord Almighty. But when I do have them, they're very hard to control.
Yeah.
They're extremely hard. And I'm a licensed therapist, and I'm saying this as a human being who happens to be a licensed therapist, anxiety is hard to control.
Yeah.
And so going to psychotherapy is super important. So in conjunction with any type of medication management would be extremely beneficial, and it helps decrease your emotional intensity. And I want to point something out. I'm saying decrease emotional intensity. I'm not saying cure. You cannot cure anxiety. You need anxiety to function in everyday life. Which
is weird to hear, but you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong, is the brain functions. Let me rephrase that. The brain does function, but we need anxiety to help induce worry, help induce fear, and help keep us safe. That's what keeps us safe.
Because you're right. There is the good fear and the good worry, and then there's the bad fear and the bad worry.
Maybe not good, but it's definitely helpful.
Yeah.
It's helpful anxiety that keeps us safe.
Yeah.
And then there's
like the fear, anxiety, I don't want to go near a hippopotamus
who can tear you apart.
Yeah.
So, or
they're nuts.
Or for me, okay, you just said perfect example. Bad anxiety or helpful anxiety is there's a hippo in that water I know can probably hurt me. I'm going to stay away from it. I have anxiety or worry over being near that hippo. That makes sense. It's logical. Then there's me. I can't go in the ocean because of a whale eye. So
when you're in ankle-deep water.
I'm in ankle-deep water. I'm afraid the shark's going to eat me. That's illogical fear, which is rooted in anxiety, right?
Yeah.
So that's that clinical anxiety, that worry that is illogical. But it ruminates in your head over and over.
You
and
say
start
illogical
to believe it.
weird.
What do I say?
Instead of illogical, you say illogical.
Illogical?
Yeah.
It's illogical.
It's almost like...
Is it illogical? Or
no.
I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's illogical.
Illogical.
Ill. Like I-L. It's I-L-L.
But you're saying eel. Illogical.
Illogical. No, illogical.
Illogical. You're saying illogical.
But there's two L's.
Yeah, but it's not the L that's the problem. It's the E. Versus versus E.
Illogical.
Illogical. Illogical. Just
illogical.
Illogical. Not illogical.
Okay, so this is funny. Let's hear this first. Okay, hold on. So I'm Italian, right? My family's Italian. In Italian, and I speak like a child, but I do speak Italian. And in Italian, I is pronounced E.
Yeah.
So sometimes I will say, for eyes, I will pronounce them as E's. So that's why I say illogical instead of, what do you say?
Illogical.
Illogical. No, see, I say illogical.
Yeah, just like you're ill. Yeah. You got it.
Right.
You got it.
Illogical.
You got a fever.
Where
it's illness.
I say E because of the I is pronounced E in Italian, and I get those confused sometimes. So I apologize. Thank you for calling me out. It's like sandwich. I say sandwich instead of sandwich. It's a whole thing.
Well, apparently I said something the other day with my southern accent.
You said, what was it?
It was canola, right?
Oh my gosh.
Canola.
You say it with such a southern accent. Canola.
So we were playing
Canola.
Disney Dreamlight Valley. And you can actually harvest canola.
Canola.
And I was getting some.
Yeehaw.
And I kept saying canola.
Canola.
And he was like, why are you saying it so weird? I'm like, it's
not...
canola.
There it is again.
It took me about a
canola.
minute and a half for me to hear the difference between, because you were doing like,
canola.
No, Brian, it's canola. I'm like, we're
canola.
Saying the same thing.
Not you're saying canola. And I'm saying canola. It's very different.
I don't know. If it ends in an A or an O, I make it the same sound.
Your southern accent comes out.
Like, I'm going to try to say this right. Tabasco.
Yes, well, yeah, exactly. When you
Tabasco sauce, I always say Tabasco.
Or you say ol.
Ol. I will say ol a lot.
But it comes out, I know
I try to say it right, which is oil or foil, but a lot of times it comes out ol and full.
It's like my dad, he says wrestle.
Oh,
and
yeah.
winda. I think
Winda, I'll do that too.
Winda.
I'll do Winda all the time.
Anyway, but yes.
I know, we got very much off
sorry.
topic.
But
we shouldn't.
I just hit my mic! Hold on! Mic down!
I was about to say, we could also bring up giraffe.
No. We're not bringing up that word. I know how to pronounce it.
Then say it.
Giraffe. No. Dang it. Giraffe.
So it's two syllables. He tries to make giraffe into one syllable.
Shut up. giraffe.
There you go.
It's 2 syllables.
Yes.
But I say one, giraffe.
Yeah, and it sounds like there's a draft in the room or something.
It's a giraffe.
Right.
Giraffe and illogical.
There you
Not
go.
Not giraffe and illogical. God, I'm stupid.
Well, we can throw the Tabasco out the window with canola.
Yeah, canola. That was just the best part because you were sitting there. Oh, I have to get all this canola. What?
Canola.
Where? The canola. Yeehaw. I expected you to go, ding. Like I expected.
Dang.
Yeah, it was very southern of you. For someone who's from Texas that did not have, like, your parents have an accent.
Yep.
You and your sister do not.
I don't know
have
what
an accent.
happened, but yeah, our grandparents.
Alex has that. Oh, Alex's wife has an accent.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
She definitely does.
It's the cutest accent on the planet, and I'm in love with her.
It's like
Alex too, though.
most people I knew in Texas had an accent. I don't know.
Your friend that came to visit,
Was it Seth?
maybe one of your friends. He's a super nice guy. He
think it was
he
Seth.
didn't have one, and then your other friend,
Jana?
well, Jana has the most
Well,
southern accent I've ever
she's
heard.
Louisiana. She got a Louisiana accent.
She has a beautiful accent.
Yeah.
No, voiceover guy.
Oh, Gabe.
Gabe. He doesn't have an accent,
No.
and he was born and raised in Texas.
Yeah.
So yeah, it blows my mind how none of your generation, our generation, has an accent that I have met. No, that's not true. Alex and Morgan.
Yeah.
What?
I said yeah.
Oh, you just stared at me.
I said yeah. I was
Oh.
wondering where you were going with that.
It's just stupid. Okay, all right, really quick, back to anxiety. So
Yes.
when
we got really
have
off track.
illogical fear and it ruminates, which plays over and over in our head, then yes, we can develop clinical anxiety. And I have anxiety over going into the ocean. I have so much anxiety, have you, that when my kids go into the ocean at the beach, I freak out.
Oh, I know.
I'm
because
like, no, you can't go in there.
Because I have taken your kids
Yeah.
to the beach.
Oh, I freak.
And when your wife is there, I'm fine. The second you show up,
Oh, it's a
and you're
different
just
story.
like, Brian, what are you doing? I'm
Don't
like,
go too far out. Don't go too far out. And they're not even ankle deep.
nope. Nope.
I
They're
freak out. But that's based in illogical fear because I know that no sharks are going to come in ankle deep water and bite
the
your
only
face
thing
off.
that maybe would be a cookie cutter shark, and even then they couldn't do squat if they wanted to.
Well, that's the thing. And so that right, illogical fear, like a sandwich. Oh my God, I have issues. Anyway.
Oh, we all say stuff weird.
Illogical fear. So that's the thing with anxiety. But what I've learned over the years, not just as a therapist, but as a human, is my anxiety has served me, and it has not served me, obviously. But like I said, there is no cure for it. There is no cure for anxiety. You help to cope with the illogical anxiety through coping mechanisms and tools and resources, and it helps to decrease the emotional intensity behind the illogical fear. Does that make sense? I'm not sure that makes sense. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, it's basically you can't fully put out the fire, but you put it in the fireplace where it belongs.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, right? You put it where it belongs. You
Yeah.
use it correctly. You
Yeah.
can't, you don't light a house on fire.
No,
So,
but you light the fireplace on fire.
right, exactly. That's a really good way of putting it. So that is, right, anxiety kind of in a nutshell. Why we talked about that today, I have no idea. I have zero
Okay.
clue why we talked about it. But I just had it on the top of my head. I'm like, I want to talk about anxiety for a hot minute. And, I mean, this is a very random podcast. So this is a very
podcast.
random topic for a random podcast. Because in this podcast, we what?
We talk about...
Oh my God, really? Really?
What?
Really? What
What?
do we do in this podcast, Brian Hall?
We talk about... randomosity!
He did the guitar move and everything. I'm staring at him like, are you really? You don't remember this?
You didn't give me a good setup because we
sorry.
don't do randomosity.
Oh, that's true.
We talk about randomosity.
Didn't I just say talk?
No, it's just like on this in this podcast we
Podpass?
do. Oh, don't bring that back up. When we were doing Bibbidi Bobbidi Bros, I would say cod passed all the time.
It's like me saying down deposit for a deposit. You put the down
Or
deposit
like
down, right?
we were your kids were watching Bluey the other day, and instead of download,
Bluey.
they were low-downing the app.
Low-downing the app. Is that what Bluey said?
It was so cute. I thought we joked about that. No, I joked with your wife about it.
Wife. Oh my gosh. So, yes, we don't do things on this podcast. Well, we do, but we talk about
randomosity.
And there's the guitar movement again. I love that for him. So yeah, that was a pretty random. Oh, dang. That was a very random mental health moment.
Yes.
Brian, what do you want to talk about? I'm done talking.
You're done talking? I want to talk about how I'm kind of sad that.
Oh.
It's not like it's kind of it's a more jokingly sad. We were actually driving somewhere.
Where?
We were driving back from somewhere, and I was talking to one of your kids. We were in the car. You were trying to take a nap, and one of your kids really is into animals and wildlife and stuff. And so of course I have a ball. I'd love to tell her everything. I'm just like, I'll tell you all the things. And we were driving back from somewhere. You were trying to take a nap, and she was just talking to me. And she was just like, Uncle Brian, like, what's this animal? What's that animal? And I'm just having fun telling her everything. And then I forgot how we get on the subject, but I tell her, it's just like we're driving down a California highway and we just see all these planes and stuff. And I told her, like, 10,000 years ago, there were mammoths and saber-toothed cats and giant armadillos and giant sloths and all these animals that used to live here. And I'm sitting there going, dang. Why does everything we have now suck?
Oh my gosh, that went dark.
I was like,
what sucks?
I
We
mean,
have elephants.
We do, but they're not here.
What do you mean they're not here? You can go to LA Zoo.
No, it's like in California, it's like you look outside, the wildest thing you could see is a coyote or a raccoon.
You can go to
San
Diego Zoo.
No, I want to look out my window and see a Colombian mammoth. I want to see a giant sloth.
Aren't they dead?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I'm like,
oh, you're sad about it.
I'm sad about that because I'm sitting there going, dang, we got the short end of the stick. Because it's like, Africa still has all these big animals.
Whoa.
Asia still has some big animals.
What
North
big
America.
What big animals does Asia have? Besides, like, killer
elephants, tigers, rhinos.
We have all that.
No, not in the wild.
Go to a local zoo. Oh,
that's not enough. I want to be able to, walk down the street and, off in the distance, see,
where?
I don't know.
Do you live that you could walk down the street and see a wild rhino?
I've seen videos of okay, granted, I know this is not a normal occurrence, but I've seen videos of rhinos walking down the street in India.
That's a thing?
I've seen videos of it. I'm sure it's not a normal thing. I
don't think it is. That's why they filmed it.
I've talked to people in Australia, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, what's it like being able to walk outside your door and just see a kangaroo? They're just like, oh, we don't ever see that. We see, and it's yeah, I'm sure people would say the same thing. I grew up in Texas, and they're like, what's it like going out and seeing armadillos? And I'm like, I never saw one.
Although,
alive, I saw some dead ones.
Oh my gosh, Paul, put words together. Here we go. In our local area, we have wild buffalo, or bison. Bison. We have wild bison.
We do?
Yeah, it's over near a local park.
Oh.
It's preserved because of it.
Oh.
You didn't know this?
No, we need to go see this. I want to see the bison.
They're everywhere. There's a lot of them, too. It's not 2. It's 50 bajillion of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've just done a lot of research into it, and it makes me sad that Africa is the last hub of big animals.
I thought Siberia had big animals.
Yeah, they have the Siberian tiger. That's about as big as you're going to get.
Oh. We have big animals, though, in America. We
have bison is as big as we get.
We have the bison, which you can eat burgers of.
They are delicious.
They are pretty good. But I'm sorry that you feel that. That's sad.
Well, it's obviously
my daughter triggered your sadness about. Wait. Are you ready? About not having megafauna.
You said it. That's a joke we had because I use megafauna pretty
stupidly is how you use it.
No, it wasn't. I used it correctly.
Oh, let me give an example of how you did it. We're at Disneyland.
I think we were in the car.
I don't know where we were, but we were
going to Starbucks or something.
There was somewhere we did not need to say the word megafauna. And then you're like, oh, look over there. It's some fauna. And I'm like, what? It's an animal.
We were talking. No, I didn't see an animal and call it fauna.
You said something about megafauna.
I did.
unneeded way.
No. I didn't point at it and say, oh, look, there is fauna. That sounds ridiculous.
So is the random way you use megafauna.
No, it made perfect sense in the context.
Oh. But it sounded so pretentious.
Well, you think everything I say sounds pretentious.
That's not true. You say very nice things sometimes that are not pretentious. But megafauna is not one of them.
Megafauna is not a pretentious word.
Oh my God.
It's the easiest way to say big animals.
It was as easy to say big animals as it is to say megafauna. Actually, I think it's easier.
No.
Big animal. Megafauna. Nope, same thing.
No, megafauna is easier.
This is the same.
Well, you're over there going like, you know what's easier to say? The CMP DBDBD instead of just calling it Tylenol.
You're stupid.
This man has an acronym for everything. Oh, you need some CBD and the PBD and the MCM and the
CBD.
BMW.
Oh, this is a family-friendly show, friend.
Wait, what's that?
Marijuana.
Oh.
It's fine. It's CBD. No one cares.
I'm just saying letters.
See,
that's the thing. Every acronym is there. I don't know what it all stands for. You just take the CNN with the BMW,
the CNN.
the BMWs and the CN.
In your field, you have the same amount of acronyms. You just
you don't.
Oh, really?
What acronym do I have?
Okay, maybe not acronyms, but you definitely have words that, like, for example,
that's fine.
If I told you we're going to bounce the audio, what does that mean?
That means we're gonna bounce the audio. We're gonna export it.
I had to look up the word bounce the audio. I'm like, what the heck does that mean?
You're basically exporting it. You're just putting it into a file you can work with.
Oh, that's great. No one knows what that means. So you have the same thing in your field. We just use acronyms. We also have fancy words, but it's medicine, so that makes sense.
Well, that's the thing. Medicine shouldn't be these crazy words.
Why not?
Because everyone uses medicine.
No, but wait.
If you're no. If you're in your own little world where only nerds deal with this, then cool. Use the weirdest words you want.
Like bouncing audio.
Sure. But this is like, everybody needs this medicine. So instead of creating a word that's super easy for everyone, it's like, oh, you're dealing with a common headache that 89% of humanity will have today. Mm-hmm. You need this megasaur chlorophon platypus disorder, the platypus.
Platypus. Instead of saying, like, here's Advil.
26 letters to say, like, the simplest thing, like,
okay, but
headache curer.
But doctors don't say that to you.
Yes, they do.
So they're like, instead of saying Tylenol, instead of the acetylphenamine or whatever, they say the Latin word or the medical term versus the generic term.
Well, when I go to a doctor's office, they're like, I'm going to recommend you take this flactaminol and the phenomenals and the overalls and the
what's flactaminol?
I don't know.
It sounds like an actual medicine. I'm going to prescribe some 50 milligrams of flactaminol.
See? I can just make up a random word and it sounds like it fits. That's a problem.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Because even then, like, even with Sandy's anxiety medicine, we talked about this earlier in the stream. They were sitting there going like, oh, did the fluoxetine work? I only know that word because you said it.
Fluoxetine.
I even said it wrong. Did that work? I'm like, no, I'm going to give you this other thing. I can't even try to pronounce that one. I don't even know what she's taking right now.
I can't even say it.
It's so frustrating.
Oh my God. I love that I love it. But you
just make it like Sminkledorf.
Sminkledorf?
Just take some Sminkledorf for your headaches. Sminkledorf, the cure-all medicine.
But, okay, really quick, for those who don't know, fluoxetine is Prozac for depression or anxiety. But I will tell you that you have the same thing in your field. Like, for example, when you were doing Dracula, let me tell you, you had to educate me when you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to go do some ADR. What the heck's ADR? And you were talking about it so nonchalant.
Audio dialogue replacement.
Okay, well, let me tell you that CBT means cognitive behavioral therapy. We all have our acronyms. No. We have to be educated around them.
So that's what I'm saying. Basically what I'm saying is, this is going to sound, I realize as I'm thinking it's going to sound very biased.
Okay.
But it makes sense for all the other fields to have stuff like that, but not for something everyone deals with.
So, okay.
Because it feels like there's a barrier
Let me tell you something.
to getting what you need.
You are correct. You are very correct. And I'm actually really impressed that you said that. So there is or was a very big movement around medicine to demystify these words, right?
Yeah.
Because it was creating a barrier to care for so many people.
Yeah.
So when, for example, I would say to another clinician, you know what, he's suffering from MDD, I think CBT and some Prozac would be beneficial. Or I would actually say, you know, he has a DX of MDD, you would probably want to consider, you know, whatever, fluoxetine and CBT. No clue what I just said. And I'm saying this right in front of the patient. He has, or she, or they have no clue what I just said. That's a barrier to care.
Yeah.
These people need to be informed on what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
So there was a huge movement to demystify these words and to dumb, quote unquote, dumb them down. That's not what I mean. But to use more generic terms. Oh, it's horrible. We still aren't doing well. So, but what I try to do is in front of patients, I'll say, do you know what Prozac is? Yes. Okay, well, that is fluoxetine, and that's what this doctor is talking about, or I'm talking about. And CBT stands for this. And oh, okay. So we're educating them. You will be surprised if you spend enough time in, which obviously, if you spend enough time in the mental health field, you get to know these things. I would say 80% of my patients know what these meds are really quickly because they spent so much time as a patient, which is fine. But yeah, I get it. You should demystify. It does lessen the barrier of care.
Yeah.
I totally hear you.
Because it's not going to hurt anybody if I continue to use the term ADR, because most people will never have to deal with that in their lifetime.
Right.
But most people have to deal with medicine.
Right, and you should know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So that actually makes... Wow, Brian, that was a really good one.
Okay, and I thought it was going to come out very biased and
No, it's totally true. We need to do that. And that's one thing I try to do in my practice all the time is speak very generic and very layman-y so people understand what I'm saying. So instead of saying you have MDD, I say you have major depressive disorder. This is what that looks like. Here's the treatment. Here's what I recommend. Bye-bye. So using plain words instead of you have MDD and CBT and fluoxetine and all the that doesn't help.
ABCs and the XYZs.
Exactly. So that was like a perfect way to wrap up our random mental health conversation. This has been my TED Talk. Thank you for coming. Oh, wait, no, that's not how it goes. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Mm-hmm. So,
and thank you for coming to hear me complain about no megafauna in America besides bison.
Anyway, people, what was I going to say? I forgot. I hate being 38. Anyway, all right. So thank you so much for coming today. I want you to do me a favor, humans. I want you to click that like button. I want you to subscribe.
That sounds weird when you say it like that.
I do think this sounds weird. We're gonna have to
weird.
We're gonna redo it. Rewind. Okay.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
You said like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Come on, Governor. Like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget it.
All right.
Come on.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell everyone about this podcast. Thank you so much for coming by, and we will see you next time on.
Too right, isn't it?
What? What'd you say?
Too right, isn't it?
Too right?
Too right, isn't it?
Oh.
But I said it with an accent.
Yes, you did. I couldn't even understand you.
Too right, isn't it?
Will you tell the people what we are?
Life is a bowl of cashews, where life is sweet, salty, and a little nutty.
Okay, bye.
Bye.